Hello friends, in today's video we would be learning two ways to create and animate beautiful arrows in PowerPoint presentations. We would be learning about both straight as well as circular or curved arrows. Friends, the basic fundamentals are the same for different versions of PowerPoint, be it 2007, 2010, 2013 or 2016 etc. both for Windows as well as for Mac. And with each new version, there are new and better features for the user's benefit. First of all, let us see some examples of what we are going to learn today. Friends, this is the first example in which we are depicting some data along with curved arrows or circular arrows and animations. And friends, this is the second example in which we are presenting the data with the help of straight arrows and animations. So friends, let us proceed ahead and learn how we can create such beautiful animations in PowerPoint. Friends, in the first method, we would be learning how to create curved arrows or circular arrows using Smart Art Graphics. For that, let me come over here to the Home button and insert a new blank slide. And after that, I need to insert a particular Smart Art graphic, which I can do so by coming here and coming to this portion of cycle. And then you can see this particular text cycle in the Smart Art Graphics. I need to select this, and you can see here I have 5 arrows now with me, and now I can proceed ahead with the formatting of these arrows. So friends, first of all, I need to convert this Smart Art graphic into a shape. So I just need to come over here to the convert button, click here, and then I need to convert this Smart Art graphic into shapes like this. After that, I need to ungroup all of these elements by selecting here and then doing right click and ungrouping. And now you can see that in addition to all the 5 arrows, there are a lot of other items also in the slide. Now I need only the 5 arrows. So what I need to do is I need to do Command A if I'm on a Mac or Control A if I'm on a Windows machine and select all of them. And after that, while pressing the Control key, I just need to click on all of these 5 arrows so that first of all they get deselected and all the other items are still selected. And then I press the delete button so that now in my slide I have only the 5 arrows and nothing else. Now friends, after adding all of these 5 arrows, I need to add some data in this slide. So for that, let me come over here to the Insert tab and insert a text box. And for the purpose of this example, in the first text box, let me write a figure of sales. Like this. And then let me do some formatting for this text. Let me come back to the Home tab and let me change the font to Comic Sans. Let me just rearrange this text box like this, and then let me change the color to red color. So in effect, the first arrow is pointing towards the sales of USD 1 million for any particular company for a particular time period. Similarly, let me just do Ctrl C and Ctrl V and create another text box and bring it here. And the text which I can put in this text box is export sales, which is 50% for that period. And then let me do Ctrl V once again and insert a third text box down here where I can write domestic sales are again 50%, and then let me just rearrange this text box so that it becomes aesthetically more beautiful like this. Similarly, let me press Ctrl V once again to insert another text box at this location. And in this text box, I can write total net profit is 15%. And then let me just rearrange this text box to make it beautiful like this. And for the last area, let me do Ctrl V once again and insert another text box at this location. And then I can write here employees is equal to 100 like this. And then let me just rearrange this particular text box towards the left a little bit so that it becomes more beautiful. Now friends, after adding all these 5 arrows and the corresponding data for all these 5 arrows, the next step is that we need to change the color of these arrows. So let me select this particular arrow, go to shape fill, and let me choose the color of yellow for this particular arrow. For this arrow, let me choose a color of light green. For this arrow, let me choose a color of red. For this particular arrow, let us keep the color as blue only. And for this particular arrow, let us change the color to orange like this. And then in order that our slide becomes more beautiful, let me change the color of the background to black color like this. And then let me close this. So friends, as you can see that we have been able to create a beautiful slide having curved arrows or circular arrows, and each arrow is depicting some data. Now, one important thing to note here is that we can change the dimensions or the designs of these arrows as per our requirement. When I click this arrow, then you can see here that there are 4 different points. Similarly, there are different points for this arrow also. Now I can drag these different points to various locations so that I get the desired shape of my arrow. I can do this also, and I can do this also, and you can see the corresponding changes in the design of the arrow. So let me just do Ctrl Z and revert to the original shape. So friends, it is totally as per your preference and your imagination what you are trying to create. As I've already mentioned in most of my PowerPoint presentation videos, that PowerPoint is a very effective tool for creating beautiful presentations. It just depends upon your imagination and what you are trying to create. So keep on practicing and you can become an expert in a very short time. So in order to get the default shape of this arrow, let me press Ctrl Z once again like this. And now let us add animations to all of these elements in the slide. Let us start off with the first arrow. Let me select this and let me come over here to the animations pane and select a wipe animation like this. You can see here the default direction of this animation is from bottom towards top. I need to change this default direction. So let me just click here, come over here to the effects options and make the direction of this animation from left like this. And then let me increase the duration of this animation to 1 second. And now let me apply a similar animation for this arrow to all of these arrows. Now, in order to save time, I will just click on this arrow, come over here to the animations painter, click here, and then come over to this arrow and click like this. So the same kind of animation which is for this first arrow is applied to this second arrow. Now, I just need to change the direction of this wipe animation. So I select this particular arrow, come over here to the effects options, and the direction for this arrow should be from top, like this. And then let me just copy the animation of this second arrow by clicking Animations Painter and then putting the same animation in the third arrow, like this. And the direction is from top to bottom, which is what we need. Now I again go to the Animations Painter and apply the same animation to this arrow. And for this arrow, the direction of the animation should be from right towards left, like this. And similarly for the last arrow, let me select this animation and apply it to the last arrow. And then let me change the direction of this animation to be from bottom, like this. Now we have applied animations to all of these arrows. Let me now select these text boxes one by one and apply a dissolve in animation for all of these text boxes, and let me set the duration as 1 second. Now the first arrow, it should be starting on click with the duration of 1 second. That is okay. And I need that the remaining all of these elements should be appearing one after the other. So let me come over to this animations pane, do Ctrl A to select all of these elements, and then while pressing the Control key, I just click on this first element so that it gets deselected, and then for all of the other elements I select that they should be starting after previous, like this. And now I just need to make some changes in the positioning of these text boxes in the animations pane so that I get the desired result. So let me first of all select this sales text box and bring it below the circular arrow number 13. Similarly, let me select this export sales text box and bring it below the circular arrow 5. Similarly, the domestic sales text box should be below the circular arrow number 7, and the total net profit text box should be after the circular arrow number 9. Now let us first of all play this animation to see what we have been able to create till now. So this is the first arrow and the text box, second arrow, text box, third arrow along with the text box, fourth arrow and text box, and the last arrow and the text box. So friends, let me now save this presentation and let us view this presentation in the slideshow. So here we are friends, let me press the enter button now, and as you can see here that we have been able to create a beautiful slide consisting of curved or circular arrows, data as well as cool animations. So let me now come back to my main slide. So friends, in the first method we were inserting smart art graphics inside the PowerPoint slide, and then we were creating beautiful circular or curved arrows. Let us now learn the second method in which we would be inserting shapes in order to create beautiful arrows like this. Now, to create a beautiful looking slide like this, let me first of all insert a new blank slide, and then let me make the color of the background to be black color, and then let me go to the previous slide which we had made in the first method and copy all of these text boxes. This would save us a lot of time as we won't have to make these text boxes again for the next method. So after selecting them, I do Ctrl+C to copy them, come back to my new slide and do Ctrl+V to paste all of them. Now, I just need to rearrange all of these text boxes to make the desired presentation. So first of all, in my presentation, I would like to keep the sales figure on the top because this should be appearing first of all, and then let me select the various text boxes and arrange them accordingly. So I can keep the export sales towards the left hand side like this. Then I can keep the figure of domestic sales after the export sales. The figure of total net profit can come in the third position like this, and the figure of employees can come in the fourth position like this. Let me just rearrange them a little bit just to make the slide more beautiful like this. And now, after arranging all of these text boxes, now I need to insert a particular shape of an arrow. So for that, let me come over here to the shapes menu, and then in the menu of block arrows, let me select this first arrow and let me paste it here. Now let me change the color of this arrow. Let me select this, change the color to yellow color, and then let me also remove the outline for this arrow. And then let me do right click, come over to format shape and make some changes in the size of this arrow. Let me make the height of this arrow as 0.75 for the purpose of this example, and let me make the width as 7.5 like this. And then let me just rotate this arrow so that it points towards the first data that is export sales is 50%. Now let me just select all of these text boxes and bring them a little bit above, like this. Now the next step is that I need to select this arrow, do Ctrl C and Ctrl V in order to make a copy of this arrow, and then let me just rearrange this particular arrow so that it points towards the next data, that is for the domestic sales, like this. And then let me just change the color of this arrow to, let us say, red color. Now let us make a copy of this particular arrow by doing Ctrl C and Ctrl V, and then we can rearrange this particular arrow also so that it points towards the third data, like this. And then I can change the color of this arrow also. Let me make it light green. And then in the last step, let me just again make a copy of this green arrow by doing Ctrl plus C and then Ctrl plus V, and then I can just make some changes in the direction of this arrow so that it points over to the fourth data, like this. And then I can change the color of this particular arrow also to, let us say, orange color, like this. Now in order to make the slide a little bit more beautiful, let me select these two internal arrows and let me change their size. Let us keep the width as 4.5 for the purpose of this example, like this. And then let me bring these arrows a little bit down, like this. And then let me just select all of these elements once again and bring them a little bit down just to make it more aesthetically beautiful, like this. And then I can just move this arrow a little bit down so as to make complete symmetry. So friends, now we have made our entire slide along with the text boxes and the straight arrows. Now the next step is adding animations to all of these elements. Now we had copied these text boxes from the previous example, so they already have a dissolve in animation with a time duration of 1 second. Now we need to add animations to all of these arrows. So let me select these arrows one by one, come over here to the animations pane and select an animation of dissolve in animation for all of them. And then let me increase the duration of these arrows to match the duration of the text boxes, that is 1 second. Now I just need to rearrange all of these elements in this animation pane to get the desired result. So I want that first of all the sales figure should be presented, so it should be starting on click with a duration of 1 second. After the sales figures, this arrow should be presented, so let me move this arrow up till here below the sales figure, and then it should be starting after previous. After this arrow, the export sales should be shown, so they should be starting after previous, which is already there. It is good. Now after displaying the export sales, I want to display this red arrow, so I need to select this particular arrow and bring it after the export sales, and it should be starting after previous, like this. And after this arrow is displayed, the figure of domestic sales is displayed, and after that I need to display this green color arrow, so I need to select this particular arrow and bring it after the figure of domestic sales, and it should be starting after previous. After this arrow, the figure of net profit shows, which is already here, and then I need to display this orange arrow, so I need to select this arrow and bring it after the figure of net profit, and it should be starting after previous. Now friends, we have completed the animations also for all of these elements. So let me now save this presentation and play the slideshow from the current slide. So here we are friends. Let me press the enter button now, and you can see here that we have been able to create a beautiful presentation along with data, straight arrows and cool animations. So let me press the escape button and come back. So friends, in today's tutorial, we have been able to learn 2 ways to create and animate beautiful arrows in PowerPoint presentations. We have been able to learn how to create straight arrows as well as circular or curved arrows. Let us see both of those examples one more time. Friends, this is the first method in which we were inserting smart art graphics in order to create circular arrows along with data and animations. And this is the second method in which we were inserting straight arrows in order to create beautiful presentations like this. So friends, I hope that you have enjoyed watching this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching this video. In case you have any questions, comments or suggestions, then please mention them in the comments box below. And do subscribe to our channel so that you can have the latest updates regarding all of our videos. Once again, thank you so much for watching this video, and I would be uploading a new video soon. Friends, in order to watch all my latest videos, do subscribe to our channel by clicking the subscribe button. And do click this bell icon to get notifications whenever I publish a new video.